So I have right here the new Sony a77 Mark II. It's a reiteration of the original Sony a77, which was the first camera that had the translucent mirror and the ability to do the focus tracking, which was such an attractive feature. What they did on this camera is they really updated the most of all the focus tracking, and that's the part that I think is one of the very best features of it, other than all the other different things that they've added. So in the premium channel, I'm going to go through menu item by menu item what exactly this thing does, but for now I just want to show you the different focus modes. So first thing that they've added right here is the eye autofocus. This camera actually has the ability to detect eyeballs. So watch, when I press my pre-programmed button, bing, there it goes right there. It shows her eyeball, and then now I'll just shoot and it'll be perfectly in focus. It'll be more dramatic when I come in really tight here, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'll come in super tight like that, and then we're going to find the eyeball, and there it is, and then it's in focus. And you notice that she's off the frame. And also what happens with this subject and object tracking is that your subject can move in and out of the frame, or other things can move in front, and it will track. And then this focus mode, which is called variable spot. So we'll go to menu, way over here, up to the camera, down, focus mode. Okay, so it's focus area. It's under menu 3 and the fourth item, and it's called expand flexible spot. Now this technology is really completely different than what was before. These didn't actually work before. So check this out. This one's called lock on autofocus expand flexible spot. It's a mouthful of things to say, but basically what it does is when you choose an item, a subject in your viewfinder, and you press halfway down, you'll see that there's the double box that goes around. Whenever you see the double box, that means that the subject is chosen as the one in the double box. Now this will only really have a lot of meaning when there's a lot of people in the photo. But what's neat about this is you see all these different focus spots that go across a lot of the frame. When I move the camera back and forth, you'll see that it follows the subject, and that's because it knows that that is the thing that you're looking for. So now we've gone off of the grid frame, so see right now it's still looking and it's trying to find her, but then when we bring it back in, bing, the minute that we bring her in to the focus spots, there she is, right there, and figured that out. So that is the lock-on variable spot, and it's really kind of cool. The other thing that this camera has is, because of that technology, obviously, it picks a subject very, very quickly and focuses very fast, but it also has this new function, which is just basically a 12 on the top dial. 12? Listen to this. Carrie, look this way. That's 12 frames per second. And the 12 on top, the reason why there's a special mode for that is because what happens is when you're shooting at 12 frames per second, the camera's aperture on the lens actually can't react fast enough to shoot that quick. So when you put it on the 12 mode, the camera freezes the aperture at whatever it was, but everything else automatically will change. Like the ISO will automatically go to ISO auto, and then the shutter speed will go to automatic shutter speed. So that's the way that it is able to do a full 12 frames per second. The other Sony, I think a77 did a rated, I think it was 11 or 12 frames per second, but with a big disclaimer that the subject couldn't really move within the frame or be out of focus or whatever. This one will actually pop it at 12 frames per second with everything else being variable. So it's really nice that way. Like that. I've just shot 3 frames, full resolution. Another really cool feature is that once you choose a subject, you can vary how sticky or how stubborn the lens is on hanging on to that one subject. So for example, I can change it to be very fickle. So say for example, and this is the very interesting example that the people at Sony gave me. If you're whale watching, you don't want to have the subject tracking be very, very sticky to one, say for example whale, because as one whale is going down into the water and you're catching his tail or something else, another whale might come up and be the beautiful face and everything like that of the whale. In a situation like that, you would want the object tracking to be very fickle and let go of the thing that it's tracking. But if you're shooting, say, a soccer player and one particular player and there's all these other soccer players running around, you want it to be sticky and hang on very tight. This camera has the ability to change the stubbornness of the autofocus tracking to letting go. So I'm going to go through feature by feature and show you basically how I would set this camera up for its different usage. But the first thing I'm going to show you is, of course, action photography, because there is an optimal setting for shooting action photography. So that would be with it on the 12, and that basically would take care of everything else, and it's ready to fire. So if you're going to shoot anything that's really fast, put it on the 12 dial on the top, and you'll have very, very fast tracking.
Arms right.